This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by Mast Audiology Services.
From loud workplaces to everyday earbuds, our ears are under constant stress. That's why it is important to protect our hearing health. And May is Better Speech and Hearing Month. And today we're shining a spotlight on something many of us take for granted, our hearing. And joining me today is Dr. Shekinah Mast, audiologist and owner of Mast Audiology Services, along with Jared Mast. He is a hearing instrument specialist and owner as well. Thank you both for being here this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
So let's just start with the basics. Can you talk a little bit about some of the most common causes of hearing loss?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of health disorders that many people have can cause hearing loss. So like diabetes, heart disease, thyroid issues, cancer medications, lots of things like that, but also just our general life. So noise exposure is a huge one. Even something as simple as mowing your lawn is hurting your hearing. You know, hairdressers that are using hair dryers all day. A hair dryer for a few minutes is not loud enough to cause problems, but a hair dryer all day long is definitely loud enough to do it.
That makes sense.
Because it's the volume and the exposure time. There's like a graph, you know what I mean, where the more, even if it's not loud enough to cause instant damage, if you have that same exposure for long enough, it will. So lots of things beyond that too. But
do you think people realize they're damaging their ears?
Most of the time, no. It's a slow chipping away. But the average person takes like 7 to 10 years to get tested past when they should have, before they finally are willing to come in and just see like maybe there is something going on.
Right.
They just assume you're mumbling, that this TV's not working well anymore. You know, the young people mumble too much. All those, you know, that sort of thing. So
what are some, I guess, early signs that we may be losing our hearing?
Well, of course, asking people to repeat more often. Tinnitus is a huge indicator because the ringing in the ears is your brain kind of red flagging that that something else is going on. And most of the time, it's untreated high frequency hearing loss.
Right.
You know, trouble in a crowded room is a big one because when you have normal hearing, that is something you should be able to do fairly well, like not perfectly, but fairly well. When you add in untreated hearing loss, your brain cannot continue to fill in the gaps for you when there's background noise. The way that it will in like a quiet one-on-one, your brain is actively filling in gaps. Yeah. And you can't do that in a
exhausting
environment. It's very exhausting.
So Jared, talk a little bit about the new technology in hearing aids.
Yeah, sure. So the technology has come a long way from even, say, a decade ago. If you go back 20 years, it's almost unrecognizable. But with the newest technology that they have out today, AI is actually a little bit of a piece of it. And that's more about scanning the room. Well, you were talking earlier about crowded rooms, crowded scenarios, and having trouble deciphering the things that, the conversations you want to hear versus maybe the waitress or the kitchen staff or whatever scenario that you're in. But the newest technology now can scan the room 192,000 times a second.
Really?
And get that information back to process and weed out useless background noise versus good conversations.
What you're trying to hear.
And all of that, yeah.
So it's not about volume, it's more about clarity then?
Yeah, for a lot of patients, this is a conversation we have quite often, where more volume doesn't necessarily equal clarity. And so it depends on, it goes patient by patient. And if there's a degree of damage to some of those nerves, increasing the volume of it will almost sound like distortion. And
like
so
a
it's
radio station.
it's a fine balance there, and that comes with the follow-up care, making a plan that's specific to the patient and whatnot, instead of just getting a hearing aid and trying to move on with your life.
Sending them on their way.
Yeah, it's think of it like the cars of today. You know, of course, older cars, if you don't change the oil, it's not going to work as well. Newer cars, even the systems need to go to the manufacturer to get updates and things of that nature. And so with the new technology, with the hearing aids, the follow-up care is even more important now than it used to be. It's always been important. But now you want updates on it. They need to be clean, wax removed out of it. Your ears should be checked regularly. And especially this month, as we're talking about being aware of it, getting screened once a year. Very, very recommended. We were just talking about people having the beginning stages of hearing loss and not realizing that they're going through it, because you don't know what you can't hear. You don't know what you're missing, and so getting tested is highly right, even for younger folks, especially some of maybe our younger hunters, younger musicians, things of that nature, farmers, etc. Yeah, getting that tested once a year is highly recommended, and the new technology it's pretty cool. You can do all the streaming and the phone calls and audiobooks, or there's a lot of versatility there in the new technology.
A lot of stuff to know about hearing. Yes. So Dr. Shekinah Mast and Jared Mast, thank you so much for coming in for Mast Audiology Services.